Hello world, welcome back to Accelerate and welcome to Jordan and Ashley's GR Yaris.
Yeah, now this was the most hyped car over the last several years that was released.
Now we want to know in 2024 if it's still worth the hype.
The GR Yaris was released in 2020 and has a bit of a crazy story behind it. The new Toyota Yaris was being sold exclusively in a 5-door format. This posed a problem for Toyota's rally team as a 3-door variant would be much more suited. The boss of Toyota, Akio Toyoda, is a true petrol head, so when Gazoo Racing approached him with the idea of developing a purpose-built chassis for motorsport, he gave his blessing. The WRC rules state that to enter the car for rallying, 2,500 units must be sold to the public within a given year. So yes, the GR Yaris is a homologation car, meaning it was literally developed for racing. The GR Yaris was being developed during 2019, but thanks to COVID, the WRC plans were scrapped. However, Toyota still decided to release the GR Yaris to prove to the world they could still produce an epic performance car. The GR Yaris is powered by a 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine producing 257 brake horsepower and 266 foot-pound of torque. It has the honour of being the most powerful 3-cylinder production engine. 0 to 60 is dealt with in just 5.3 seconds, and yes, we will be testing this later on. The first generation of GR Yaris was only available in a manual transmission with a very clever 4-wheel drive system. The system gave you the ability to choose between 3 driving modes, essentially letting you choose whether you wanted power to be front bias, rear bias, or 50-50 weight distribution between the axles. There was a base level trim available, along with a convenience pack option which offered luxuries such as front and rear parking sensors, satellite navigation, and a stereo upgrade. Most people, however, opted for the circuit pack, which offers BBS wheels, Michelin PS4 S tyres, thicker anti-roll bars front and rear, and probably the biggest upgrade, front and rear limited slip differentials. The base model started at £30,000, with the circuit pack stretching the price to £33,000. The cheapest GR Yaris on Auto Trader at the time of filming was £23,750.
Now who would have thought that us as petrol heads would get this excited over a Toyota Yaris, and it's crazy to think that people are paying 30 plus grand for a Yaris, but there is good reason for it. There were many reasons this car was controversial, but I want to run through the styling before we get stuck in. So obviously with it being a homologation car, the entire chassis was rebuilt for the GR, and starting at the front, I haven't even got to say anything. Look how aggressive this thing looks. But as well as the aggressive looks, it is functional, even with things like the brake duct in there that cools the brakes. Like I said, completely functional. More performance mods that make this thing completely functional. You'll notice this massive grille at the front. That's actually the size of the radiator, giving maximum airflow. And Toyota quotes that the original splitter at the bottom was designed for downforce, and I do believe that. On this one, we have got a TRC extension as well. With this one being the circuit pack, they usually come on 18-inch BBS forged wheels, which are actually 10 kilos lighter than the base model. 18-inch wheels on a Yaris is insane in my books anyway, but what we're rolling on here are 19-inch wheels, and the crazy thing is they do not look out of place. Now I said to Jordan and Ashley they took a real risk, real gamble on the rotiforms, but I personally think they work really well. It goes with the rally-esque look as well. It's covered in forged carbon with the mirrors and the roof. More wacky facts about the GR Yaris. The roof actually tapers 3.75 inches as you get to the rear to channel the air. Obviously this one hasn't got the WRC spoiler, but it was to channel air to the WRC spoiler, although I imagine it probably does do some things to that as well. Coming around to the rear, you've got the stocky stance. I mean, the rear arches are absolutely huge for such a small car. I really like the light bar design, and that's why Kenny and I were saying about having it in the color as opposed to the black, because it hides a lot of the design, but in the red is our personal favorite. So, got this massive spoiler, and with any hot hatches, we always say we have got an immense diffuser with an aftermarket TRC addition as well, and these insane titanium tips. Heading into the boot of the Yaris, I mean, it's a Yaris, we wasn't expecting it to be great, but what we wasn't expecting was 174 litres of boot space. To put that in comparison, the Fiesta is just under 300, and that is not a big car in itself. I think the thing that robs it, obviously you've got all of the 4-wheel drive system at the back, which basically means the boot floor is level with the opening, which is nuts. But hey ho, it's a GR Yaris.
Yeah, who needs boot space?
Yes.
So moving on to the brakes, being a circuit pack, it actually comes with 356mm discs with 4-pot calipers. Now these brakes are bigger than what comes on the Supra. The rears are 295mm and they are actually a 2-pot as well. So I imagine the brakes on this thing are phenomenal, considering the car's only 1,280 kilos. One thing we actually love about this car, frameless doors. Now, they claim that this adds rigidity to the chassis. They also added more spot welds and about 15 meters more panel bond onto the Yaris, the GR Yaris. I nearly said it the wrong way around. So yeah, that's why this car is a lot more solid than the standard Yaris. So stepping inside the GR Yaris, you are met with this really nice, it's not even that thick, the steering wheel, to be honest, but it feels very sporty. You do have analog dials, which are quite, I don't know, I would say they are a thing that are going away.
Dated?
They are quite, but I think I prefer them.
Yeah, it works. I prefer analog.
It does, yeah. Now, you do have your basic equipment as you would expect. You do have a reverse camera as well. Got some buttons down here. That is auto blip if you don't like heel and toe. It does it for you. Here you have the different modes for driving. I believe for the four-wheel drive system, if you put it into sport mode, it goes 70-30, the power distribution for the four-wheel drive. Standard, it's 60-40. If you go into track mode, it goes 50-50. That's where I just leave it all the time, to be honest. One thing I do want to mention is these Alcantara and half leather. Well, it's more Alcantara than half leather, to be honest. The Alcantara is absolutely stunning. We said it on a few videos, we love it. And the thing I like about Alcantara, it does grip you a lot better than leather, but they are so comfortable as well. But I want to go into the rear now, so Drew, I'm not giving in, it's your go. Hey, this is the fun part for me.
Seems to be a common thing now, right?
Yep, get in the back.
So the front seats, it doesn't even move forward. The front seat is where Kenny would have it. Not anymore. But to get in the back, it is a bit, I want to say cramped, basically because of the roof line. It does rob a lot of the back headroom, and especially with the sloping window, it does make it feel like a bit of a nightclub in here, not in a good way. But all I will say is it's in the pursuit of performance, so I think I'd let it off for there. But no, you are not putting that seat back, because I got a feeling like a claustrophobic.
I think you might have been, but then yeah, it is what it is. You know, you wouldn't buy this to take the kids on holidays and stuff. And
it is all leather back here, so again, the quality of everything feels good. Yeah, you've got your plastics there, but you have got the speakers in the back, so it is a family car. If you're trying to convince the other half, you know.
Like a troll.
Yeah, just do what Jordan asked you to do, just put the back seats down. You don't want fun with his friends. Guys and girls, you join me out on the road in a GR Yaris. I cannot believe I get to say that. We are so grateful. So again, a massive thanks to Ashley and Jordan for bringing it down. This is something we've been planning for a while, and we've actually had to reschedule it once because of the rain. And would you believe it? It was actually raining this morning. So out on the road in the GR Yaris, doing what we always do. I'm going to start off driving normal and sensibly. And one thing I do want to say is Ashley, which I didn't actually realise, we've known these guys a while, she actually daily drives this thing. She has no other vehicle, and with how clean she always keeps it, I always assumed that this was like her show car, but she does daily drive, and she's given us some great feedback saying that to drive normal, it is, considering it's got a Yaris badge on there, but I think the Yaris badge is more of a formality and just a way to dress it up to make it look like a car, because there is very little left of Yaris on this thing, and I'm just pootering about now in a car that I've always wanted to drive, just driving around normal, and I can tell you it drives exactly how you'd want a Toyota to drive every day. The throttle is very soft, the clutch is so light, and I just jumped into this thing. It's just one of those things that very ergonomical. It's just so easy to get on with. The gear shift just absolutely clicks into gear with no effort at all. It's got the right amount of notch, and it's just crazy to me looking down, seeing that Toyota badge. You think, okay, yep, that's pretty normal, but then you look down and see the GR badge, and as you can see, I can't stop smiling. The seats are always a talking point on this car, and I completely see where they're coming from. So the consensus is they are very good seats. Now, I'm a slim guy, Kenny's obviously a bit more set than I am, but you fit in them lovely. You can feel the bolster in there even on a normal drive, but it's not intrusive at all. They're so soft, and people often complain about the ride height, you cannot get these seats any lower. And for me, I'm what, 5'9", 5'10". It's okay for me. Yes, I'd prefer to be a little bit lower. So if you're any taller than that, I think it would get quite annoying. And I think if you were wearing a helmet, because let's face it, these cars were designed for performance, you may run into a bit of issue there. And another thing is the visibility. The A-pillars are okay. You kind of expect it from a modern car. The rear window is like a letterbox effect. As you look back, there's very limited view. But again, all you got to keep thinking is you're in a GR Yaris. I don't care what's going on behind me. I've just looked out the window then, and the view of those arches is absolutely crazy. And I've got to keep telling myself I'm in a Yaris. So we've seen how it drives normally. Let's see what it's like when you get into this thing. God, the pull, whoa! How is a little 3-cylinder? Holy crap! I know I should be talking. I'm a little bit mesmerised by this. How is a little 1.6 3-cylinder pulling up these hills? Yes, we are on a mountain road. So it instantly gives you confidence. I am in track mode, 50-50 split. And oh my God, the grip on this thing, which I was expecting, this does not, oh my God, disappoint. Yeah, this is, there's not much Yaris left in this thing, let me tell you. Wow. Wow, wow. The development that's gone into this, you certainly feel that the minute you put your foot down. But what amazed me then, up these not so great roads, is the grip. Now, these things were designed for grip, and my God, do you feel it. So as I said, that was in track mode, 50-50 split. There was absolutely zero drama. But where we say a lot of the time zero drama comes less fun, that still really put a smile on my face, because it's controlled fun. Is that right to say? I felt like I had someone watching over me then, but also at the same time, it's just like, yeah, have fun being a bit naughty if you want. It's absolutely fine. And the noise, I know 3-cylinders are a bit of an acquired taste. A lot of people dislike them. I love them. And what Ashley has done to this with the induction kit and the exhaust just makes the experience that even. Oh, I had a feeling I was going to like this car. And Georgia actually drove when she worked for Toyota, and she could not wait for me to drive one. And now I see why. Everything about this car is absolutely fantastic.
So obviously I've only just driven this down this hill, and
yeah, like what,
it's amazed me already. So this is the fun part. This is what we always want to do. So let's go.
We're in the GR.
Finally in the GR. Wow.
We're going uphill as well.
I think this is a 3-cylinder. The turning is so sharp and responsive, and the grip.
And this is like quite slick road, like we always say when it's raining here. It's quite lethal.
Oh my God! Do you know what?
It just goes, doesn't it?
I was expecting it to be good.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Because they are hyped a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but now I see it's for good. Jesus Christ. Oh man, this thing feels so quick.
And because you got the ground clearance.
Oh, yes! What a car. Sorry, I'm lost for words a sec. I'm so trying to focus. Oh my God, this thing grips so well. I will speak in a sec, I promise. Man, that gets your adrenaline pumping.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Do you know, I know a lot of people, they say it feels like the Evo 5 and Evo 6.
That's a hell of a compliment.
It is, and it obviously it feels better than that.
Yeah, obviously you've got the modern touches and the modern nicety, the technology, but it does feel quite raw.
It does, yeah, it does feel really well. It doesn't feel electronic at all. Obviously with the Evo you've got your active yaw control. This is the 50-50 distribution, and Do you know?
It all feels mechanical. It feels like you're being, which I don't know why. You guys, some of you guys might agree. Do you know when you're assisted by mechanical grip, it's more satisfying than electronics. You can feel the tyres, you can feel the diffs doing their job.
I was just going to say, the thing is with this, obviously with the diff for the front wheel drive car, you can feel it pulling itself around. This feels like it's almost being pushed around a corner.
Yeah. Well, they're working in hand rather than this fighting the rest of the car.
Yeah,
like
they're working so well together. You can feel as you turn in, you can just feel the back. You know, it's hard to describe, but it just pushes you around the corner and it gives you so much confidence. And like I said, you can drive this thing fast, even if you just jump in it. I think.
Again, anyone could.
And that auto blip as well.
I was going to say, as much as I love heel towing, it is a bit of a downside on these because the accelerator pedal is slightly offset. It's a bit further down.
I was just going to say, yeah, I can feel it now. It's further back.
And there's a bit of a gap between them. But
yeah,
I'll forgive that because you have got the auto blip. And as much as I love doing it, it is satisfying having the auto blip.
I was just going to say, the auto blip actually works perfectly as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think I found my new favourite car.
I really didn't want to like it because I know how expensive they are, but I love this thing.
Just the thing I can't get my head around. This is a 3-cylinder. Yeah. You had a C1, or was it a
107?
Yeah, same thing.
But it was like, what, 60 odd horsepower? And
yeah, but it sounded pants as well.
Hey, I think it sounded really, I love the sound of a 3-cylinder. They are awesome. Best
it sounds like a Coke can being rattled. But this just, obviously with the turbo.
Yeah, you strap a turbo to them and it changes them completely. Who would have known?
I know, wouldn't it? So Jordan and Ashley have kindly let us do a Dragy with this car. Now I'm not going to launch it very hard because it's not ours and I don't want to break it. I put it in sport mode, which is 70, 30, obviously 70 bias. Here we go, soft launch.
30. 60.
There we go. Right, here we go, track mode. We're going to launch a bit harder this time.
Six and a half.
6.5.
6.5. In real world, for someone who's never driven it before.
That's the thing, I did launch it a little bit better that time.
It sounded better.
Yeah, so I had it in track mode as well, so obviously you got your 50-50, so a bit. Yeah, so unless you want to have a little go.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, it's good. I can't afford, if I break it, I can't afford to fix this. So no.
He would as well. He's used to breaking cars.
At the beginning of the video, we wanted to know if this Legend was worth the hype. So, I put it to you, sir. What do you think?
Well, I think my reaction in the video says it all. I absolutely love this thing. I said to you, usually we feature a car, and it's like, okay, I've had a go. This, I just wanted to drive more and more and more. The steering input and the way this thing handles is just, it's like nothing I've ever driven.
No, it's unbelievable.
So what do you think of it?
The thing that blew me away, I mentioned in the video, the engine is an absolute peach, but the handling on this thing is where it shines, and I have just never felt anything like it. The grip is beyond, but not to the point where it's boring like we said about previous cars. As I said, I think the way to put it down is you can see where GR have put the development, like stupid amounts of development have gone into this car.
It's
and I can see where...
Like I said, we've driven Porsches and stuff. This feels so much better. I know it's newer than any Porsche we've driven, but it's a Toyota.
Well, I've always said like, wow, modern cars tend to bore me in the drive, and that's kind of what I was what I was worried about with this. I wasn't expecting it to feel as alive.
I love it.
And the fact that we've had, like I said, we've had people giving us Porsche 911s. We've now got GR Yaris, so we are so grateful to all of you. So I think with that, we want to say a massive thank you again to Jordan and Ashley for bringing the car down, particularly on this day.
I was going to say, we had to cancel last time because it was torrential weather, and this morning was the same. So we held out, and thank you for bringing it out. And I know you keep this thing absolutely pristine.
So, you were cut out for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And they said the magic words of go nuts for this. So honestly, guys, we are so grateful.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Boom!
No, we're not going on about the trees.
You wouldn't anyway. When he's come down to a grand, you will.
I'll buy a wheel or something. You know.